Are you wondering why your business hasn't grown the way you thought it would, or wondering why it seems so hard for you to find success? If so, or maybe you're thinking about consulting, or you've already started consulting, or just your own business in general. Okay, so this conversation is going to be for you if you are wondering why your business isn't growing the way you expected it to. I'm going to share with you 10 signs that consulting might not be for you, 10 signs that entrepreneurship might not be for you. Now, let me be clear, this is not about putting anybody down, but I'm going to tell you that after working with over 3,000 consultants in the past 8 years in some form or capacity, I've seen patterns and I've seen behaviors that hold people back from reaching the six-figure mark that they're looking for. So, we're going to take a real look at what might be keeping you stuck. And I want you to be honest. And I'll tell you right now, it's a lot of people who won't listen to this because we don't want to hear the reality of our situation. But if you are really serious about consulting, you are really serious about creating freedom for yourself, bringing in more income than you ever imagined, and leveling up your life, this is the live for you. So if you're with me, give me a hey, what's up, what's going on? Give me a hello in the chat and interact with me. I am live. This is a live session. So I'm going to jump right into it. And I got my notes. Listen here, and if you see me looking off, it's because I'm recording on two devices. So the first one, the thing that I see from a lot of women who are starting their own business, they're waiting for someone else to step in and to rescue them. That might be a coach, that might be a friend, that might even be your spouse. And they are likely, like the things that I hear them say is, if only I had the right support, then I'd be able to make this work. But the truth is, no one is coming to save you, no one at all. You really have to take ownership of your own journey. And sure, support systems are great, they're absolutely fabulous. However, you're responsible for the results that you get. So I want you to start by asking yourself if you're one of those people, you're scared, so you try to bring people with you, or you want a partner in this, you try to bring your colleague along with you. I talk to a lot of women who try to do that. They'll say, well, I got three people at work who want to do this with me, or my best friend, she's also a teacher and so she wants to do it too. Listen here, they cannot see the vision that God gave you. And so they are not going to be able to move the way you will move because you are the one who had the vision. They didn't get the vision. So they're not going to be able to see it through with you. You got to do this on your own. So the solution is, I want you to start by asking yourself, what can I do today? What is one thing I can do today to move myself forward? And all you have to do is take one step, even if it's small, every single day towards your vision, and trust that you have what it takes to make your own success. You don't need other people to make you successful. So, for those people who are looking for that person, they're waiting on so and so to finish their degree, and we're going to start the business together, or we're going to write this book together, and then we're going to take our show on the road. Stop waiting on people. God gave you the vision, did not give that vision to that other person. Number two, now, this is a big one. Number two, one big sign that consulting isn't going to work for you, or a reason why it's not working for you, is that you abandon your ideas too quickly. Now, hold on, don't be disconnecting the line yet. Let me give you an example. So, for example, you need a lead magnet. We know that lead magnets help to bring in new leads into our business. You'll create the lead magnet, you'll do the designing, you'll put it together, and all that good stuff. You'll post it two times on your social media. Nobody clicks it, and then you will say the lead magnets don't work. You'll say it doesn't work. You'll send out one text message to your family and friends. You'll send out one text message to that professor that you know. Just one. You will make 5 phone calls, and then you'll say, oh, that don't work. And the thing is, when you don't get immediate results, you scrap the whole idea. You throw the whole idea away. So you're not giving things enough time to work. Good morning, Nate Carter. Good morning, good morning. So I want you to really think about, instead of giving up after a couple of times, commit to consistency. We got to test ideas. We got to tweak them if needed. And we got to give them at least 30 days to see if they work. Because whether we want to believe it or not, success comes through persistence and not through some type of luck, not through, no, you got to be persistent. There are no overnight successes. It took 20 years to get to that overnight success. It took 10 years, 5 years, a year of work, 90 days of working it. Think about it. It doesn't take, I'm sorry, it's not an overnight success. So I want you to think about what was the last thing that you gave up on? Somebody gave you a strategy to implement. You went to do it. You did it once or twice. It didn't work. You gave up on it. Let's go on to number three. Number three is a major one. You make time for everything else and everyone else. We call that procrastination. You scroll through social media, you run errands, you attend every social event, but when it's time to work on your business, you keep putting it off. Does that sound familiar to anyone? You have not missed a trip yet. You have not missed a church event yet. You are at every church event. You're on every family trip, every girl trip, every friend trip. You have not missed a birthday celebration yet. They say it's so-and-so's birthday, she having dinner, you're there. But when it comes to your business and what it is you want, you keep putting it on the back burner. You keep making excuses. You keep putting everybody before you. So think about that. Does this sound familiar? And if you can be honest with yourself, that's where the awareness starts at, being honest with yourself. Because the truth of the matter is, you got to give God something to bless. Like we keep saying, I want this from God. I know that he gave me this vision. I dreamed this, so I know it's real. But you're not giving anything to be blessed. You got to give God something to bless. What's the solution? It's real clear. Nate Carter says, so true. Here's the solution. Set clear, non-negotiable goals. Work hours. Because you got to define some hours to work. And this is definitely one that I did in my business. Once I saw that my kids, football practice, baseball practice, basketball practice, soccer practice, because we do year-round sports in this house. Once I saw that was taking over my life, once I saw that I had to tend to my mom, I had to be the person in my family who was responsible for everything. I'm also the favorite aunt. So my nieces and nephews call her, Auntie Nell, can you pick me up from here? Can you do this? Can you do that? Not to mention school events. Like right now, I got homecoming coming up. My son does not have his outfit for homecoming. So we have these things that happen. And so we will put everything else above what it is that we need to do. So I had to set clear, non-negotiable work hours for my business. During the hours of 10 to 2, it don't matter what's happening. I'm working in my business. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., those are my business work hours. When I was working in the school system, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., those were my work hours. On Saturday, I don't care what Saturday you called me. On Saturday from 9 to 12, I was working on my business. It does not matter what time you called me. And then many times on Sunday evening, I would do a couple of hours in my business. I did everything to make sure that I worked 10 hours in my business every week from September 2018 all the way until from September 2017 all the way to May 2018. I did at minimum 10 hours in my business. So you got to set some clear, non-negotiable work hours for your business. And you also need to prioritize your goals and eliminate the distractions. Say no. You got to be willing to say no. The success of your consulting depends on your time, but it also depends on your energy. Like if you don't have enough energy to do what it is you need to do, you're so tired, you're super exhausted, all of that because you didn't make your business the priority. Okay, going on number four. And if you can identify with any of these, put it in the chat. What number do you identify with? Number one was looking for someone to save you and trying to bring a friend along or a colleague along. Number two, abandoning ideas too quickly. Doing something, trying it once, it didn't work, you go on to the next thing. Number three is procrastination. Doing stuff for everybody else, putting off what it is you need to do for your business. And then number four, listen here. This one I see all of the time. It is the fear of pitching yourself. It is the fear of pitching yourself. You are scared to pitch yourself. You're afraid of rejection. You're worried about how you'll be seen. And as a result, you never put yourself out there. You never let people know what it is that you're doing. Nate Carter says, yes, no energy after work, then getting my young kids fed and in the bed. Exactly. Yes. And that's a real reality. It was the same for me. I had an 8-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 14-year-old. While the 14-year-old was pretty self-sufficient, that 8 and 9-year-old, we had to do homework. We had to do all of the things, okay? And so I had to determine that I still have to do these things because we can't just throw those things away now. But that meant that I need to cut out some of the other things because if we can be honest, our kids don't take all of our time. And most times we're not structured. So I had to really get on a structured schedule. Dinner is at 6:30. That meant that I was meal prepping. Homework was immediately when they got home from school. And then I had to give them part of the expectation too, because I got home after they did. So a lot of times I would review the homework. So I get it. But that's where those Saturdays and Sundays come in hand. Instead of sitting up, resting on Saturday, I would get up 9 to 12 every Saturday. And I had to leave my house. I couldn't stay in my house because as long as they could see me, they needed something from me. So Starbucks in the public library was my favorite place. Anne says 2, 3, and 4. So she says she abandons ideas too quickly. She procrastinates and has a fear of pitching herself, or she's fallen into that fear of pitching yourself. This is what I want you to remind yourself. Okay, everybody. Fear cannot pay the bills. We can have all the fear we want to, baby. Fear do not pay bills. Fear does not make you happy. Fear does not take care of you. You need to do it scared. And that's plain and simple. I'm the scariest person all of y'all will ever meet. I'm not going to jail. I'm not going to get in trouble for you. Look here. But I know that fear cannot pay the bills. And so you got to reframe the fear. Think of pitching as offering value, not begging for business. Like a lot of y'all see pitching your services like I'm begging for business. I'm poor. They're going to think I'm broke. Why are you worried about what they're going to think? And only the people who are doing less than you will think that. That's what I want us to be clear about. Anybody who has their own business, anybody who is successful, anybody who has their own thing going, they already know what it is. It's the people who are have a broken mindset and who are poverty stricken that see that as begging, as see that as, you in lack or something. That's not what it is. The more you pitch, the more confident you become at it. So you got to challenge yourself to pitch at least once a day for the next 30 days. That's your task. And watch how your confidence grows. And then you'll see that it's not as big a deal as you think it is. Just like you find honor in saying, I'm a teacher. I have never met a teacher who wouldn't be like, yeah, I'm a teacher, proud to be a teacher. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with being a teacher. I'm not saying that. Just like I've never met an attorney where I did not know that person was an attorney before that conversation was over. They're letting you know what it is that they do so that they can work with you. The attorneys are, but teachers do it from a place of pride. So now that you are looking to do something different, why is it so hard for you to pitch your services and talk about what you do? And it isn't always the name. Like you can say, I help teachers who are struggling in their classroom with classroom management. That's real simple. It's real simple. I tell people all the time, I help educators who are ready to leave the classroom, but it's not time to retire. They don't want to retire. They just want to use their skills in a different way. So I help them to monetize their talents. What's begging in that? That's not begging. That's not making it look like you're poor. That's what I do for a living. And I love it. It brings me great joy. So I want you to challenge yourself in pitching. You're gonna become a lot more confident in it. So that's number 4. Number 5. Oh, y'all finna get mad at me about this one. All right, now number 5 now. Don't be leaving me no nasty comments here because I know how to block you real quick. Okay. Don't leave me no nasty comments because I'm about to tell y'all the truth. And people don't like to hear the truth when it comes to the good God here. But we use God as a scapegoat. Now, if you can be honest, and I'm talking to the people who this is for, if you know this ain't you, it's not you. But it's a lot of us that this is, okay? I talk to them. I work with them. I'm on the phone with folks, and that they will say stuff like, well, I'm waiting on God. Well, if it's for me, it's for me. We use God as a scapegoat. We use these phrases, what's for me is for me. I'm just going to leave it up to God. Well, if it's God's will, we use that as a scapegoat. And we try to lay all of the blame on God. If something does not work out, God didn't want that for me. If it don't work, God said, no, I'm waiting on God. Girl, you're not waiting on God. God is waiting on you. And I have to share this example with people, especially women who, sometimes we get confused. This is the example that I want you to think about when you go with this, I'm waiting on God, and if it's for me, it's for me. Those are lies from the pits of hell. You have made that up in your head. These are sayings that have been passed down to us to keep us in bondage. Let me tell you something. Do you remember what was the last thing you asked for your birthday? Or what was the last thing that your children asked you for their birthday? What was the thing that you asked for Christmas, or that your kids asked for Christmas? What was the request that they made? I want what for my birthday? I want what for Christmas? Think about it. When you were a kid, what were the gifts that you requested? Now I want you to think about, so one of the last things my son requested for his birthday was a PS5. The previous year, we did a cruise, but the cruise ain't what he requested. Keep that in mind. Sometimes we give our kids stuff, but it's not what they requested. My son requested a PS5 for his birthday. He said, this is what I want for my birthday. Their birthdays are November 30th and December 1st. They made a request for their birthday. I want a PS5. Guess what? I did everything in my power to get them that PS5. They asked for it. And as the parent, as the mother and the father, we decided we got to do whatever we need to do to get this game. That game, $400-$500, y'all. So we made that come true. They were able to get their gift. They loved it. Oh my God, that's the same way God is about you. But guess what? He can't give you what you don't ask for. You got to make the request. A lot of us are not making the request. We're sitting back waiting on God to just send gifts. Yeah, you do sometimes get gifts. Just like my sons got a cruise. We went on a cruise for their birthday, but they didn't ask for that. But they enjoyed it. They loved it. They ate good, had a great experience, spent good time together. But that's not what they asked for. Did they know they wanted that? No, they didn't know they wanted that. That's the same way God works, y'all. You got to ask for what it is you want, because you can have everything that you want. And you are limiting God and you're limiting yourself when you say, I'm sitting back and I'm waiting on God. You're not waiting on God. God waiting on you. God gave you the gift. You got the gift. And he said your gift will make room for you. And instead of you using the gift and allowing it to make room for you, you sitting back scared, looking at rejection, scared of somebody saying no, worried about what people gonna say about you. You sitting back in fear. All you thinking about is what you're not gonna be able to do. I'm not gonna be able to pay my bills. I'm not gonna be able to find another job. I'm not gonna be able to do this. I'm not gonna be able to do that. You're not thinking about how good God is and how he never let you down, not even on your worst day. If he gave you the gift, he'll give you the provisions to be able to use it. But you're not giving God room to bless nothing. You ain't giving him nothing to bless. All right, moving on. So what's the solution to that? You got to take ownership of your actions. Believe. You got to really believe that you are divinely supported, but you got to understand that action is required. It's required. You got to take some bold steps in the direction of your goals. Okay. And that leads me to number 6. So number 5 is using God as a scapegoat. Number 6 is some people are stuck in this victim mentality. Oh, let me explain this to you. People with a victim mentality, they blame other people for their circumstances, okay? Whether it be the economy, a bad client, the doctors, whatever. They take no responsibility for their own outcomes. And when you meet somebody who has a victim mentality, they are always blaming someone else. They're always talking about what somebody did to them. You know these people, they something is always happening to them. And then when they tell you the story, it's all about what everybody else did, and they're not taking any responsibility for what they did. When they tell you about the breakup, they're going to tell you how the man dogged them. They're going to tell you how he spent all their money. They're going to tell you how he cheated on them. They're going to tell you how he did this and he did that. And they're not going to tell you anything that they did. They didn't do anything. They were the victim. They're going to tell you how the boss at work is targeting them. They're going to tell you how they're trying to fire them. They're going to tell you all of the things. See, folks don't want to hear the truth about being a victim. They don't want to hear that. Kenya's Key says, you are speaking to me and calling me out. Thank you. All right now, Kenya. So I'm just telling y'all, we got to take responsibility. We cannot be the victim. Shift from a victim mindset to a responsibility mindset, because the truth of the matter is we're responsible for every single thing that happens in our life, good or bad. If something good happens, you were responsible for it. Something bad happens, you're responsible for it. Take ownership of that. And when you take control of your actions and your reactions, you will see things are changing. Oh, now number seven, y'all. Now, I done told y'all, don't get on here getting mad at me for telling y'all what I done seen in my consulting work after working with almost 3,000 educators. I'm not talking about 3,000 just anybody's. These are educators over the past 8 years. Y'all, I run into these people, and some people hype themselves up with half truths. And these are the people that I say they lie to themselves. Now, don't get mad at me. Don't be hanging up the line on me. They might tell you about a potential client who seemed excited, who was really excited about the program. So they'll tell you about, oh man, I did a meeting with so-and-so and they would really like the program I had. And I'm gonna close this contract. It's amazing. But then they don't tell you about the next part where they never followed up or they never closed the deal. Let me give you an example you can relate to. And this is a real example. I was talking to this lady, real example. We having a conversation. I didn't ask for this information. She volunteered this information. She said that she had been married for 20 years. She said, oh, yeah, me and my husband. Yeah, I'm married. I've been married for 20 years. Boo, boo, boo. Went on about the conversation. And then when I was talking to someone else, I was like, oh, yeah, I met her. And yeah, she was telling me she's married for 20 years, boo, boo, boo. And they looked at me and they said, oh, but she forgot to mention that she's been separated for 10 and her husband has a girlfriend and they got 2 kids together and living in their own house over there. I don't know why she do that. Think about that. These are half truths that we tell. When we lie to ourselves, we omit the part. We omit pieces or don't talk about pieces. Or maybe you talk to somebody and they say their son is doing well. You know, everything is going good. Boo, boo, boo. And they say, yeah, he's focusing on his well-being and he's really getting in shape. He's really getting his body in shape, focusing on his well-being, reading a lot. Boo, boo, boo. They just forgot to tell you he in prison. They forgot to tell you he in prison. These are people who lie to themselves. If they'll lie to themselves, they'll lie to you too, first of all, but they really believe their lies. And so in the business, the reason why the business isn't growing is because they will latch on to the positive piece and won't even deal with the other piece that needs to be addressed. Or they will believe the piece that's positive and not even give attention to the other piece that needs attention. And so then they create this scenario where things are going great, things are amazing, things are good, but they didn't mention that they haven't made money in the past 90 days. Yeah, I got my business together. I got the logo. I got this. I've been going to conferences. I've been doing this. They forgot to tell you that they ain't made no money because they ain't been pitching themselves and they're scared to death. So I want you to know some people lie to themselves. And if that's you, just own it. Own it. Number 8. Oh my goodness. Number 8 might be another one that's hard for folks. We let our mood dictate our actions. You have a plan. You know what you're supposed to do. You have the action steps that you need. You know exactly what you should be doing, but you woke up and you didn't feel like it. You woke up and your stomach was hurting. You woke up and you still tired, so you laying back down. You let your mood dictate your actions. Your feelings get in the way of everything. Jessica Bates said, now why you being messy this good morning? Keep telling the truth. People need to hear this type of productive conviction. Thank you, Jessica. Because you know what? We say that we want the business. We say we want the time freedom. We want the financial freedom and we want the creative freedom. It's all available for you. Before now, we didn't really know how to get it. But now you got people like me who will come on here, will give you the game, will drop the gems, will tell you exactly what to do. But then we still don't do it. But then we don't know why it didn't happen. And then we use God as a scapegoat. And then we say, well, that's that. It was for me, it's for me. No, you didn't do what you needed to do. And just like with number 8, we'll let our mood dictate our actions. But if you were at that job, if you were on that job and you woke up and your stomach hurt, you would figure out a quick remedy and get your butt to work. But we let our mood dictate what we need to do for us, not what needs to happen for other people. We show up on that job, rain, shine, sleet, or snow. Let me tell you something. Some of us, me included, lost loved ones that we love. Couldn't imagine life without. My mama. Some of us, our mama died, and we go to work 3 days later. But if you were in your own business, your mama died, you need the next 3 months to grieve. You wouldn't even be able to move forward because it's your business and there's nobody telling you what to do. So we allow our mood to dictate our actions. So if you're tired, if you're upset, if you're not feeling up to it, you just don't follow through. But consistency is key, and you got to let your emotion, you can't keep letting your emotions run the show, or it's going to keep you stuck. So what's the solution? The solution is commit to the plan. When you commit to the plan, that means that I'm doing this regardless as to what mood I'm in. So commit to the plan, not the mood. And the other thing that I do, I create systems and routines that keep me on track, even when I don't feel like it. So everybody knows I just recently had surgery, and my surgery was at the end of August, and it had a 30-day healing period. But really, I got a whole year for total restoration, right? And I noticed that after about day 6 or 7 after the surgery, things were, just not right. Like I couldn't get my days in order. And then what did I do? I went back to my normal routine. Here I am this morning, 6 weeks out on my normal routine. So you got to create those systems, those routines. If you notice, you hadn't seen me on the porch drinking my coffee because I couldn't make it to the porch to drink my coffee. Here's my coffee right here. You see my coffee? But you see now you've been seeing lives again with me back on the porch. You need systems and routines that keep you on track even when you don't feel like it. So I said, let me just get back into my routine of things. I want you to know that success does not come from doing things when you're excited. A lot of times we'll do it if we're excited about it, but that's not where the success comes from. The success comes from the consistency. Moving on, number 9. Ooh, number 9, y'all. Ooh, okay, now y'all ready for number 9? And be honest, if it's you, just say it's you, and let's move. Let's work to fix some of these things. Number 9, you're the person who says yes to everything and everyone. You take on commitments you don't that don't align with your business nor your personal goals. Let me say that again. You take on commitments that do not align to your business or your personal goals. But here's how you know if this is you. Listen. This is how you know if this is you. You're constantly running late, you're stressed, and you're overwhelmed. You're constantly running late, you're stressed, and you're overwhelmed. If that's you, put your hand up in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. Let us know. Be honest. Tell the truth and shame the devil. Why is this so? You can't be everything to everybody, folks. That position is already filled. The Savior already took that position. That position is filled by the Savior. You can't be everything to everybody. Point blank, period. You got to stop setting yourself up so that you can help everybody else. You know what I call it? I call it setting yourself on fire to keep other people warm. That's what I call it. When you setting yourself on fire, you're trying to keep other people warm. Let me give you an example of what that might look like. You got people coming in from out of town. They knew they were coming in out of town, and they said to you, yeah, my plane landed at 6 o'clock. And then you say you're going to pick them up from the airport, even though you know you need to be at work at 7 a.m. Now, first of all, that person knew they were coming into town, and they know they need a ride from the airport, and they know that you work, but they also know that you will overcommit. So you did exactly what they expected you to do, which was to say, yes, you are available. Now you got to wake up an extra hour early. You got to try to leave your home at 5 o'clock to get them from the airport by 6, get them from where they're going at 6 something to their location, and then from there back to work by 7. And now you're late. You already know the principal finna look at you crazy because you're coming in late. Now you stressed because you're thinking about what they're gonna say because you late. And so you create all of these situations all on your own because you're trying to be everything to everybody when all you have to do is say, yeah, I gotta work that morning, I'm not available. This is how we create that constantly running late, always being stressed. Somebody saying they're having a party and they need somebody to pick up the cake. Oh, girl, I'm coming past there. I'll pick up the cake and bring it to you. Let somebody else to do it. Get somebody else to do it. You are not the person. Stop overcommitting and overscheduling. And while you're doing that, all you're doing is taking time away from your business, the things that you need to do, because you keep overcommitting, you keep overscheduling, you keep telling people, I'll be there. Yeah, I'm coming to support you. Oh, yeah, you're overcommitting and you're overscheduling, and it's creating a lot of stress in your life. You're always running late, and you don't even know that people see you as not dependable, and they say stuff like, she always late, she don't ever be on time, and they know this about you. That's not a good thing. And especially trying to run a business, because if that's the way you run your life, that's the way you run your business too. So learn to say no to things that do not serve you. You got to take care of you. I want you to learn to protect your time and your energy by setting clear boundaries. So when you stop trying to be the hero in other people's story, you always want to come in and save the day. You want to solve the crisis so everybody can say, if it wasn't for so-and-so, I don't know what I would have done. That is not a good thing. You got to start focusing on writing your own story and being your own hero. This the last one, y'all. Number 10, sign number 10. Being resistant to change. Being resistant to change. Still doing things the old way, not adapting to new technologies or strategies that can make your life easier and make your business run smoother and smarter. Let me give you some examples. I talk to people and they say, I know exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go door to door and I'm gonna knock door to door. I'm gonna go to every school. I'm gonna go talk to the secretary at every school. Honey, ain't nobody got time. And you can reach more people in a more productive way than trying to go building to building all over your big old large city. And you're not gonna make it anyway because you're gonna get tired and give up. I talk to people and they say, well, I'm going to go put some flyers up. I'm going to go to all of the community centers and to the banks and to all these places, and I'm going to put flyers up. Y'all, we put flyers up 25 years ago. In 2024, we're not putting flyers up. Now, can you put a few flyers up? Sure you can. Is it going to be is it going to be as productive as you think it is? Of course it's not. But because that's what we did back in the day, you think that's what you're supposed to do now. We have people, I'm still to this day, every single day, I'm telling people about ChatGPT. I'm telling them about AI technology. I'm sending text messages with links in it. I'm trying to get family members and friends caught up. That AI is what's gonna send us all to hell. That AI gonna be the cause of the world ending. Well, guess what? It's gonna end anyway, so you may as well not be exhausted and let AI help you while it's here. And I'm sure they said the same thing when we went from horses to cars. I'm sure they said the same thing when we went from the fire to electricity. I'm sure they said those same things. But we got to stop being stuck in the past and be willing to take on new technology. Remember when they first came out with the beeper, the pager. There were some people who didn't want to use. You were like, nah, I'm just gonna keep using my phone. Yeah, but then when it picked up, you were a late adapter. When cell phones came out, you were a late adapter. When computers came out, you were a late adapter. At this point in your life, you got to say to yourself and be honest, I don't like changing. When new stuff happens, I'm always one of the last people to get on board, and I got to change that because there are technologies out here that can help you. There are automations and systems that can really support you. But what is the problem? You will not allow support. These are the same people who lurk in communities and won't say nothing. You'll be online, you'll watch. There are people who will watch my lives every day, won't say a word to me. That's what we call lurking. You don't want to make yourself known. You want to be off to yourself. Even if you come to a live event, you go to a conference, you just want to go absorb the information and be off to yourself. That's because you don't want to adapt to change. And then those are the people who won't speak up. You don't want to adapt to change. You want things to stay the way they are, whether it's automation, whether it's AI, whether it's new marketing trends. You got to be open to learning and evolving. I'm going to tell you, the most successful consultants are the ones who adapt and stay ahead of the curve. Those are the most successful consultants. So in recap, there, look at these 10 signs. If you know that you're falling into any of these, it's okay. You got to think to yourself, so what do I need to do about it? If any of these sound familiar, don't worry. This is not about shaming you. This is not about shaming anyone. This is all about awareness. The first step to creating a six-figure consulting business is recognizing the behaviors that are holding you back and then taking action to change them. Like, we can't keep putting our head in the sand. See, in the classroom, you can close the door and nobody will know that you didn't have a good day, that the kids was all over the place. But this is not the classroom. And we get paid way more money than what we do in the classroom. So I want you to pick one behavior from the list that you're going to work on this week. Think about which one resonates with you. Is it the looking for someone to save you? Is it the abandoning ideas too quickly? Is it the procrastination? Is it the fear of pitching yourself? Maybe you find that you resonate with using God as a scapegoat. Maybe you have fallen into this victim mentality. Maybe you're one of these delusional people who lie to themselves. That's okay. Sometimes we all have to lie to ourselves. Maybe you are letting your mood dictate your actions, or you're one of the people who overcommit and overschedule, or maybe you don't want to adapt to change. Whatever it is, pick one of the behaviors from this list and commit to working on it. Put it in the comments which one you're going to work on and which one you are committed to changing, because success is not about being perfect. If you're looking for perfection, you're never going to find it. But success is about being consistent and taking responsibility for your journey. It's also not for the faint at heart. But if you recognize and overcome some of these behaviors, the path to success is wide open, people. It's available for you. It's not about the perfect moment or the right person or divine intervention. It's not. It is about taking ownership, staying consistent, and adapting to what's in front of you. So I hope this resonates with you. I hope this helps. I tried to really, think about all of the instances and people that I've talked to and what really the ones who were not successful. And that doesn't mean that they didn't make any money. That just means that they didn't make it to the six-figure mark, and B, may have decided to do something else. But I wanted you all to think about what it is that is really holding you back, because we can really change the way our business goes by changing ourselves. We got to learn to change ourselves. So I hope this